You know what's so fun? Creating your own life. Knowing where you're going, or even if you don't know exactly where you're going, you know you are in charge and you are creating it. I think that's a lot of fun. And we're going to read a little bit about that today, about daydreams. And my name is Lenny Wennerstrom, helping you to find your purpose. That's what I'm doing for all those peeparoos like you who want to be positive and productive and to find success in every single area of your life. And that includes finding your purpose and moving into it, activating and being all you can be. That's why I'm here on YouTube. By the way, celebrating 500 subscribers. It seems like a small number for a lot of people. You know, for me, every single one of you that has subscribed to this channel means the world to me, because that means it gives me, I have been given a chance and the honor and the privilege of serving you and potentially sharing some information with you that could change your life forever, like permanently, especially around the topic of the neuroplasticity for the human experience. And then spiritually, because those are the two parts of what I teach in practical spirituality, is the spiritual journey and then the human experience. And for the human experience, which is where we find ourselves, touching, feeling, knowing we're here. I feel like I'm doing the sign of the cross. I did that way too many years as a Catholic. And it's now, that is a habit and a program that I learned. It just comes very easily to me. I just started doing it. Anyway, this is neuroplasticity at its finest, something that was repeated since being super, super small and going to church, mass, and all of that. So it comes like that's still a program that's there, and actually kind of a comforting one, some of those little things. Okay, whether it be or not, that's part of my growing up and my parents and just the childhood experience. So that's a little bit on the comforting side, which I appreciate. So now back to you and the having 500 subscribers on this channel, which again may seem just like not a humongerungus. If a lot of us who have YouTube, we subscribe, they're in the thousands, they're in the hundreds of thousands, of some of the peeparoos that we follow, and that bring us value on a daily basis or a weekly basis or something. And every single one of you having subscribed, that tells me that I have brought some value into your life, and it is so meaningful to me. It means the world to me. So, yay, you and me. There. Okay, I'm celebrating. I'm really celebrating. I'm so exciting. I'm so exciting. I'm very, very excited. So today is May 25th. It's the birthday of Cynthia, my friend. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Cynthia. She's actually Cynthia, but I call her Cynthia since high school. So anyway, we were cheerleaders together. Day 146, 220 days left in 2024, and we are 39.89% complete with this year. And guess where we'll be tomorrow on the 26th? 40%. So you still have over 60% of the year as of today to find your purpose, to activate it, to move into it. All that fun stuff. You can still do that today. You have 60%. That's a lot. For 40% complete with the year tomorrow, that's 60%. Those are pretty good odds, right? Okay, so let's read this for May 25th. I dream daydreams that open my world to the wonderful possibilities that are in front of me. Instead of worrying about my future and what I will do with it, I dream of it, I create it, and I make it happen. I wonder how you do that. I wonder how you would do that. Let's turn it around and put it in the second person, meaning saying you. You dream daydreams that open your world to the wonderful possibilities that are in front of you. Instead of worrying about your future and what you'll do with it, you dream of it, you create it, and you make it happen. How do you do that? How do you do that? Besides envisioning it, seeing it, feeling it. We understand neuroplasticity, especially when you have emotions, strong emotions. You will create more neural pathways in around whatever that is much more quickly because it's meaningful. Think of a time when you had a really scary experience, and now think of a time when you had a super fun experience. Like you went for the first time, you're with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you got your first kiss. Think about that for a second. It's like, ooh, that was pretty good, huh? And then, and now think of something, that was really, really difficult, like falling into, I don't know, the ocean. That was very scary. My kayak collapsed one time, and everything just fell out, including me, and I did not think I was going to get back up, and was like, wow, is this it? And I remember absolutely everything. Emotion, intense emotion associated with that. Intense emotion associated with that first kiss. Thank you, Ernie. That was wondrous. And and all of those, those thoughts, those experiences with that intense emotion, you'll always remember. Like they will always be there for you to remember, because it's something that your brain, it's like you want to remember the ones that are difficult, that were really not so fun experiences. You don't want to repeat that again, so your brain's right there helping you, saying you don't want to do this again. Look how awful it was, so remember all the details so you won't do that again. Anyway, so but that's very, very real. And so when I'm asking you that you dream daydreams that open your world to the wonderful possibilities that are in front of you, and instead of worrying about your future and what you'll do with it, you dream about it, you create it, and you make it happen. And I asked you, how do you do that? Well, the way you do that is by setting goals, is by knowing what it is that you want, setting the right goals, like, is this really what you want? And then finding out, okay, these are, and you want to date that, like, when do you want it? And then the obstacles, like, what are the obstacles? What is stopping me from accomplishing this, doing this? Why haven't I done it yet? What's stopping me? Is it fear? Is it I just don't have the skills? Do I need something? What's wanted and needed? If you don't feel like you have an obstacle to getting it, what's wanted and needed? Do you need somebody to do something for you and you need to ask them? Like somebody to help you write a story or a script, or what is it? Do you need somebody to give you a recipe or help you with something? It's what's wanted and needed if you don't really find an obstacle. Or is it fear? What is it? So you just write that out, and then you write your action steps and you date them. Like, how are you going to overcome that fear? I can give a really good clue how to do that. You listen to the self-talk language that Dr. Shad Helmstetter created, and you listen to that, and you start feeling like up, able to do things, can do attitude, and very excited. You rewire your brain. So maybe give it 3 weeks before, if you're really afraid of failing or something, listen for a week, listen for 2 weeks, and make that your action step. The obstacle, I just might fail. I've tried this before. And it's like, I'm not going to say pshaw like I did yesterday, but understand that is in your head. You were born absolutely with every ability, with all promise and potential, unlimited possibilities, and to succeed in every single area of your life, including whatever it is that we are just kind of out there talking about, being afraid. And so maybe that would be your action step. This is all, we're just having a conversation here. And you date that. I'm going to listen starting by whatever, starting today. And anyway, so that's how you do it. You set a goal. So how is it that you dream of it, create it, and make it happen? How do you make it happen? You get into active goal setting. You create that goal. You set the dates, which are written in sand, by the way. Life happens. I've had many, many goals, including one with my podcast and my presentation. They are written in sand because life has been happening at a breakneck speed on planet Earth, And so I just haven't, I've had to move it. And I'm okay with that because it will happen when it happens. And I'm still moving towards the goal. So you'll find that some of your goals will no longer even be valid. They're no longer of any importance to you. It's not what you want. Or like for me, I wanted to have a membership. No way. I don't want a membership anymore. I worked really hard towards that last year. Now I'm like, phew, dodged that bullet. So, it's just it's interesting how your life changes. And people come into your life, people go out of your life. Like, you are the star of your life. How do you want your story to end? What have you, like, if you look way out there, what do you see that you have accomplished? What gets you excited? Remember that we're looking for your purpose here. Like, you and I are like, ahoy! Where's his purpose? Where's her purpose? No, we're not doing that, are we? We're going within, because within is where your purpose is. And you already know what it is. You already feel connected to it. You may not think you do, but you are. So it's something that's easy, doesn't take much, and get you excited when you think about it a little bit, or maybe you have an idea. Like for me, it's like, I really should get back with my podcast, and I'm thinking, man, I love doing these videos. I love doing my podcast. A lot of the editing and stuff was difficult, and deciding what I wanted to talk about and everything, that got a little bit heavy on deciding who I wanted to interview and all this. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do what I'm doing here and figure out what I want to say and share that, and that's it. And then Lynette, my daughter, will be part of that, a couple times a week, and it'll just be fun. So that's what I'm working towards. That is fun. That is easy. What about you? What do you find that's fun, that's easy? It doesn't have to be fun. Hopefully it is. But what is just filled with ease? What can you just easily, your personality, the way you feel, like moving into a little book that you love reading, and maybe you like reading it out loud to little kids. Maybe you love writing poetry. Maybe you love journaling and you want to teach people how to journal. Maybe you're really good at coming up with ideas. My friend Amy, oh my gosh, Yaruz, she can come up with themes and ideas, and just like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, whew, my head is spinning. She's like, well, Lenny, you could do this. So I'm like writing like a crazy person, like, wow, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Maybe you're like that. Maybe you can help, online business owners with ideas, creative ideas on how to create content. It's not the easiest thing to keep on going. What is it that you enjoy? Maybe you love skiing, like a guy that I met when we were RVing for that month through Tucson and through Arizona and all the places that we went. And he loved surfing. I said skiing, but surfing. He loved surfing. And I asked him. He was pumping gas. He was getting us propane, and he just didn't look very happy. And I said, would you be doing this? If you could do anything for the rest of your life, would you be doing this job? And he's like, no. And I said, well, what would you be doing? And he got really pensive, and he said, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before. I said, well, have you ever asked yourself that? No. And so he said, I'm going to think about that. And I hope he has. It's been well over 2 months at this point. Hopefully he's asked himself and thought, well, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? What's fun? But he did tell me about the surfing, and I said, well, why not give lessons if you're that good? Like, he loved big waves. And I said, well, why not give people lessons? There's so many peeperoos that want to do that I've met. And they don't know how. They don't know how to catch a wave. They want to. They go out paddleboarding or doing something, but they really would love to surf. And I said, well, why not give lessons? Why not? Like, what could you do that's around something that you absolutely enjoy? Is your purpose wrapped up in that? Who knows? Isn't that beautiful? Like, it just, what is easy, fun, feels good? You wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, I get to do that today. Like, what is it? That's towards your purpose. And that's how you can create a goal around something. So how about creating a goal? Like, my goal is to find my purpose. That's how you start any goal. My goal is to, and then you always will, whatever follows, that's the goal. And then you date it. Isn't that exciting? This is what I do in my coaching calls. I help people set goals that are very realistic, that is going to get them to what they really, really want, rather than it takes just as long to get to the wrong goal, and probably longer than it does to get to the right goal. A lot of times we feel pressure from peers, from family, from society, from just fear because we need to feed our families or whatever it is. And so we're moving towards the wrong goal and we go dragging our feet. It's like trudge. I don't want to do it. That's a very good clue. That's a very good clue. That part of that is not your purpose. And that's somewhere that you probably would be best if you went in a direction that actually felt right and good and in alignment for you, with your values, with your morals, with the way you feel about life. So I hope that you will find your purpose. I hope that you will create you will dream and daydream. And one of my biggest daydreams, and I love sharing my stuff with you, is Project Santa Claus. Someday, and I always am giving, like always, but my dream is to give on a big arse scale, like humungarungus. Just be able to go right. You've seen these, or I don't know if you have, but on Instagram, on Facebook, but mostly like on Instagram, these companies will sponsor people and they go give them they'll give people $1,000 or $10,000 or buy them a car or maybe all of that. And and it's just so touching. Oh my gosh, I love those things. But that's my dream because I worked I worked in a lot of stuff, especially when I was in radio and had my morning shows. So I did a lot of volunteer. Even before that, we did volunteer since I was little. We always worked it doesn't matter. The point is, I always saw people in need, and it just moved me. And especially when I worked over 14 years at a food bank, and I saw all these people just really, really needing help, and I would envision and see like me giving them, like their car didn't work one week, because I got to know these people so well. And so one day they'd come in, somebody was driving them. You had given them a ride because their car didn't start because the starter went out, or whatever it was. They needed a transmission for their old car, or they didn't have clothes for school, or they didn't have all the turkey, all the different things for Thanksgiving, which we did at the food bank. But they didn't. There was a lot of stuff that they didn't have. And so I would look at these peeperoos and I'd smile like inside and think, man, one day you're just going to have a car. You won't even know it was me, but you're going to have this brand new car that you never have to worry about for you and your kiddos. You're never going to have to leave them. I was stranded many, many times with my daughter. I was a single parent, and I would be stranded. And thank goodness I was kind of cute and had a very outgoing personality, because boys would stop and help me every single time. It was wonderful. It wasn't wonderful getting stuck, with my daughter. And that was so difficult. That was a very difficult time in my life, were many years. Actually, it was a really fun time as well. But those kinds of things, And so I just had in my mind's eye, I would see these peeperoos just so excited, go outside and see this brand new car that would never leave them or their children stranded. Or, a year's worth of groceries. Say they never had to come to the food bank and, and pick through this or that. And they could have just really good stuff. And just stuff that, like a hand up, not a handout, for people who are really deserving. And that is like my ultimate Project Santa Claus. And so I'm constantly doing that anyway, doing little things as I can, because that's a very big part of who I am. But that's my purpose. Like, I see me going towards that, and everything I do, I see the end. So where do you see yourself? I'm giving you an example for me, because there's something inside of you, even if you haven't pegged it yet. There's something that gets you excited, that you wake up in the morning and you're thinking, wow, I'm going to, I get to go play tennis today. Maybe it's giving tennis lessons. Maybe it's swimming lessons. Maybe it's helping the elderly, going and doing, teaching them how to move. If you're a physical therapist, or you can take, brownies and to there, or read to little kiddos in the library. I mean, who knows what it is? What gets you excited? Like this gentleman who wanted to all he wanted to do was hit the big waves, and he wanted to surf, and that was in Hawaii, a certain place in Hawaii. So what is it that drives you? What gets you excited? So anyway, we got onto all that because this is the way that you envision, and you start thinking it, and you see it in your mind's eye. And then instead of worrying like, I don't have enough money, in lack, by the way, I don't have enough money, this is too difficult, I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. Okay, the wagging finger. Do you remember the Village Inn? Used to have, we used to call it Daddy's Tail, but it'd go like this. Maybe not, you might be too young, or maybe it wasn't wherever you were in the world. But it had a little ball on top of a tail, and it'd go all the way across. We called it Daddy's Tail. The things, I don't even know why I started telling you about that. When there's something that gets you excited about life, really click into it, because that could be exactly where your purpose is. That could be exactly where you're going. So I love you so very, very mucho. You can find your purpose. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. And I know if you put your mind and set a goal around finding your purpose, my goal is to find my purpose. My goal is to activate my purpose. My goal is to engage or lean into my purpose. Bye. Date it. And you're just going to, and follow the rest of what we've talked about, active goal setting. You're going to see how much meaning you add to your life, and how much more often you smile. And when you see peeperoos in the store, or this or that, you'll just be they'll be smiling because you'll be vibrating at that high frequency of wow, just that peace within, and that knowing that you're moving forward in the right direction for you. And we've talked about this before, but what's happening when you're doing all of that? You're adding value to the world, to yourself, to those around you, to the world. You're vibrating at a higher frequency. And that's where all those things that you want live, right? And especially if you're envisioning it and you're seeing it, you are creating from the invisible, you create the visible. That's how it works. So manifesting 24/7, and that's so your daydreams, we read this, you dream daydreams that open your world to the wonderful possibilities that are in front of you. Instead of worrying about your future and what you'll do with it, you dream of it, you create it, and you make it happen. And that's how you do it. So congratulations to us on our 500 peeperoos. I'm so excited. This just makes me, it's that ripple effect of love. and hopefully you have gotten the self-talk app. And if you are interested in up-leveling your own life, then I would love for you to email me at Linny@LinnyMotivates.com, and let's get you set up for a free session so that it's a free life coaching session, which is incredibly valuable. And I don't charge a penny for it, because I want you to really understand how it works and see if this is for you. And I can guarantee you, if you are on this channel and you are watching this, a few times a week or something, if this is any at all meaningful to you, then you would definitely benefit from that. And if nothing else, do get the app, the self-talk app that's in the description, because that will help you change your brain, rewire your brain with the positive programs that you want, so that you can do, will do, and you are up to it, and you know that you are absolutely unlimited and able to do anything that you put your mind to. That unlimited potential and promise that you were born with, it's still there. So rewire those programs and get the strongest programs to start firing for you, for those programs to be the ones of can do. And I love you so very, very mucho. I hope that you have an amazing Memorial Day weekend if you are in the United States. And we will see you tomorrow. And as always, shining my light to brighten yours. Again, see you tomorrow. Ciao.